Have you ever wondered how the United States came into existence? A tale as old as time, it's a story of courage, rebellion, and the pursuit of freedom. Let's journey back to the 17th century, to the founding of the original 13 colonies. The British, seeking new territories and resources, established the first permanent settlement at Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. Over the next century, 12 more colonies were established along the eastern seaboard, each with its own unique culture and economy. From the bustling ports of Massachusetts, vibrant with trade and commerce, to the sprawling plantations of Virginia and the Carolinas, powered by the labor of enslaved Africans, these colonies formed the bedrock of what would become the United States. Yet, beneath the surface, discontent was brewing. The colonists, subject to the whims of a far-off king and a parliament in which they had no representation, began to chafe under British rule. This resentment was further inflamed by a series of taxes imposed by Britain to pay for its wars in Europe, leading to the famous rallying cry, "No taxation without representation." The seeds of rebellion were sown. A network of patriots sprang up, spreading word of the injustices and rallying their fellow colonists to the cause of liberty. The spark that ignited the powder keg came in 1775 with the battles of Lexington and Concord, the first military engagements of the American Revolution. The colonists, now united in their struggle for independence, convened a Continental Congress. In the sweltering summer of 1776, in a room in Philadelphia, a group of men, led by Thomas Jefferson, put pen to parchment. The words they wrote still resonate today. "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." With the signing of the Declaration of Independence, they formally broke the chains that bound them to Britain. And so, against all odds, the United States of America was born. A nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. A nation whose story was just beginning. The birth of a nation was just the beginning though, wasn't it? In the early days of the United States, the nation was a small cluster of states clinging to the eastern seaboard. But that was all about to change with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. President Thomas Jefferson, seeing an opportunity to double the size of the nation, purchased this immense tract of land from France. This deal, often considered one of the greatest real estate bargains in history, sparked a westward expansion that would define the next century. Yet, the road to expansion was not without its obstacles. The War of 1812, a conflict with Britain, tested the mettle of the young nation. As the smoke cleared, the United States emerged with a renewed sense of national identity and an invigorated spirit of expansion. This spirit was encapsulated in the concept of manifest destiny. Coined in the mid-19th century, this phrase embodied the belief that the United States was destined, by God some argued, to expand its territory across the entire North American continent. This idea fueled the urge to push westward, leading to significant growth and development. However, as the nation pushed its boundaries further, it inevitably collided with others who had their own claims and ambitions. This was the case with Mexico, leading to the Mexican-American War in the late 1840s. Though fraught with controversy and conflict, the war ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, adding territories such as California and New Mexico to the United States. Every step of the way, the expansion of the United States was marked by a mixture of ambition, conflict, and compromise. This journey wasn't just about adding stars to the flag or carving out new states on the map. It was about the struggles and triumphs of a young nation trying to find its place in the world. Through blood and toil, the United States reached from sea to shining sea. But what happens when a nation becomes divided against itself? In the mid-19th century, America found itself grappling with this question. The nation, still young and malleable, began to fracture along an invisible line, a line drawn by differing perspectives on one contentious issue: slavery. As new territories were added to the Union, The question of whether they would allow slavery became a flashpoint. The North, with its burgeoning industries, leaned towards abolition, while the South, with its agrarian economy reliant on slave labor, clung to the institution of slavery. The Compromise of 1850, which allowed each new state to decide for itself whether to allow slavery, only stoked the embers of disagreement. In 1860, the election of Abraham Lincoln, a known anti-slavery advocate, sparked the tinderbox. South Carolina seceded from the Union, followed by 10 other southern states. The Confederate States of America were formed, and the stage was set for the Civil War. The war was brutal and bloody. 4 long years of brother fighting against brother. Over 600,000 lives were lost, and the nation was left scarred and devastated. But from this crucible of conflict, the 13th Amendment emerged, abolishing slavery forever in the United States. The process of reconstruction that followed was not without its challenges. The South was left ravaged and resentful, and the North had to grapple with how to reincorporate the seceded states and ensure the rights of newly freed African Americans. Despite the difficulties, the United States embarked on a path of reconciliation and rebuilding. The 14th Amendment granted citizenship to all born or naturalized in the United States, including former slaves. The 15th Amendment guaranteed the right to vote, regardless of race or previous condition of servitude. A house divided against itself cannot stand, but the United States found a way to rebuild and move forward. This chapter of history serves as a testament to the resilience and unyielding spirit of a nation, determined to heal its divisions and uphold its ideals of liberty,